who would say, okay, all right, let's see, I'm going to quit smoking this year and I'm going to completely change the way that I eat and I'm going to take on my whole body. Oh no, you can't do that. That's too much. And the years, I still got a few days left. What else am I going to do?
And you did all that. You did all that.
I did.
Huge congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And it's, I can't not say it's thanks to you and your team, Nasha. I know I did it, but you guys make it so easy.
Hi, everyone. This is Nasia Davos, and welcome to this episode of Ask an X. Every Ask an X episode features an inspiring story of a CBQ program member who broke up with destructive habits and found freedom. And the X I have with me today achieved food freedom and many more things with the CBQ program, and he's here to tell you how he did it. Please welcome Charles Bratz. Charles, huge congratulations on your success. I'm so excited to talk to you today.
Thank you. I'm excited to talk to you and all of these people as well.
Yeah, I know it's going to be, I know, because you have an amazing story to tell, a lot of achievements under your belt. But first, take me back to the beginning. So, in your life, how has your relationship with food been like?
Mostly unconscious. You know, I've had a body that until recently I could eat anything I wanted. Nothing bothered me too much, and I would eat what I wanted to eat. Spicy, sugary. I didn't limit anything that went into my body, and I didn't really investigate what was in what I ate.
Okay.
That's how it's been. Yeah, I'd eat at McDonald's or any which place. Nothing was off limits.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what then motivated you or pushed you or triggered you to seek to make a change?
Yes. Well, I beginning of this year, 68 years old. So it started with quitting smoking, of course, and that was I realized I was 68 years old. I've been smoking for 55 plus years on and off, and not could never give it up for good. And so that was the start of it, and your quit smoking program, which I feel there's no way I go back to it now. It's just doesn't take any work, and I just know that it's just brings no pleasure. It's actually just so harmful, and I've learned that it's harmful. I've learned for myself, and then when you invited us to your Food Freedom Program, I was like, yes, yes, that's next. That's just the next thing for this aged body, which is, not doing horribly bad, but I knew I didn't like the weight that I was. I didn't like that I was eating a McDonald's. I didn't like that anyway, just needed to wake up that part of my life because I mean, I've worked on just about every other part of my life, spiritually speaking. And so I have a pretty good foundation for all of this. And anyway, just uh, doing the Food Freedom Program, I just relished every part of it. You're educating us on things that I didn't know. And, I have in the last few years started to watch what I eat a little more, but only when I wanted to. And when I ate stuff that I knew it was bad for me, I didn't really investigate what was in it. so that, and now I'm motivated and look forward to making sure that everything that goes into my body fuels my body and does not damage any part of it whatsoever. Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. So Charles, was it more of I I just want to protect my body and my health, or did you experience any physical symptoms or inconveniences that made you think that the food freedom journey is the next one after quitting smoking?
Yeah, that's good. I tell people that I couldn't have penned a better uh, a New Year's resolution at the end of last year than what I did this year with the food freedom, quit smoking, going to the doctor, really, really working on my body. I had some bad labs, as a lot of people do, bad, good cholesterol and good, bad, I mean, just triglycerides, um, just all the things that eating uh, bad food causes for you. And I had labs done 2/3 of the way through this program, and I had nothing bad except chloride was low. I don't know of anybody who died from lack of chloride, but yeah, no, it just really, I just feel so much healthier. And one of the great things that have come out of this is, and I want to really get this right. Like I sum it up as that. So everything I do in my life, there's a good result or consequence. And not smoking and only putting healthy food in my body creates more good consequences. So that actually makes me feel better. So um,
So what
no
else has
regrets.
improved?
What else
What
has
else?
improved?
Yeah.
Well, that's my outlook. My
Mm.
self-expression, my relationships with people.
Oh,
Um,
could you share more
yeah.
about that? That's
Well,
fascinating.
well, with the cigarettes, nobody knew I smoked.
Mm.
No, I kept it from everybody, so I had to like keep a certain amount of distance from them, not only because of the smell, but just like I was withholding part of myself from them. So with the eating, I'm just really enjoying talking with people about food and learning more what they know and imparting what I've learned and giving away what I've learned. I've got a few friends that are doing the smoothie and um, some that are interested in doing the Food Freedom Program as well. It's just, oh, like I say, the self-expression. I think that's most of it, and being alive and more color in my face and pounds
Yeah.
shed. Yeah.
Yes. Please tell me about that because we're brushing it off as if it's nothing, but please share about that.
Oh no, it's everything because I tried to put it into words. So, like I say, there's consequences or good things that come out of every action we take. And so with my food, I have a baseline of I what I eat, what I enjoy, what I want to put in to fuel my body and enjoy. And every time I eat something good as opposed to something bad, it creates good vibes in my life, good vibes in my self-expression. It makes me feel better about myself,
Mm.
and also makes me healthier. And I'm looking forward to, because I mean I've been eating like this for 4 months, 4.5 months, whatever it's been. What's going to happen after a year or after 2 years, you know, of what all of repairing what the bad food had been breaking down in my body. So, yeah.
Yeah, and already you share that your blood tests are
Yeah.
great in just a
Right.
short amount of time.
Yeah. Completely. I mean, they were horrible before. And to have them just completely change, because I was eating the same way since my last labs a year ago until I did your program. So yeah, yeah. So it turned around pretty quickly.
That
Very
that is
fortunate.
very fortunate and motivational and inspiring. Just shows that the body is healing when we're treating it right. So your cholesterol became from bad normal, right?
Yep.
Are
Yep.
you comfortable
Yeah.
sharing more results that transformed?
Well, every single, uh, I mean, everything on my labs were perfect, except for I was a little low in chloride, and but eat a little more salt, whatever. And let's see, what else? Um,
And they were all bad in your own words before, all the
not
results.
not everything, but the things that really
Okay.
affect us, as older as an older person, things that are hard to rectify, uh, that things that turn into diabetes, um, things that
So
talk that what's that?
your your blood sugar levels as well improved.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yes, yes. In fact, I think it was last year they tested me for A1C because they were concerned about pre-diabetes for me. And I was overweight to the point of that could be a problem that could have affected me. So I may have dodged a bullet there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's congratulations, Charles. And in such a short amount of time, I
Yes.
and so many people who are watching this, I know they're thinking to themselves, oh, I cannot change, or it's not going to change for me, or it's too late for me. But it's not.
No, not at all. I mean, as much as I've done work on myself, I've never been any good at willpower. If I didn't naturally want to do something or saw some benefit for myself, I was going to do it. Quit smoking? No, I couldn't do it with willpower. But the way that you present everything with the psychology, the education, the behavioral, what we believe or what I believed before doing your programs, I just had some beliefs that may have been a little askew. Um, and and by getting the education, like learning exactly what this substance will do to my body if I take, so let's just take alcohol, for example. Um, I, I mean, I have addictive behavior. Fortunately, being an alcoholic was not one of them because I really didn't ever want to have to quit drinking. And so I drank. I mean, I didn't drink a lot, but I drink. I go out and have some beers with some friends or something like that once or twice a month. Wine with dinner. And I learned, I mean, I got the education. You told me exactly what the alcohol does when it goes into the body and what it does to the liver, the kidneys. And I said, oh, yeah, I don't think I want that. And it doesn't even feel that good. I mean, it just doesn't taste that good. It doesn't feel that good. It's like, no, I do it. So I don't drink anymore. Just gave it up during the program. And not for any kind of willpower or anything other than I want a different result.
Which that was also quite amazing and surprising because you didn't enter this program with any intention to dislike alcohol, but it was a byproduct of all this work you've done. Can you share that little story about the wine and Thanksgiving that you shared with
Yeah,
our group?
yeah. So one of the things that we do in the program is we get a baseline of what we're gonna kind of like what we eat, what we take in, and I had a baseline that I decided that I didn't want alcohol, but I thought, yeah, well maybe I'll have it, Thanksgiving or holidays or something with friends or. And so I bought a bottle of $75 wine. The guy said it was really good wine. And I had a couple of glasses on Thanksgiving. And I thought, "God, this stuff doesn't really taste very good. I wonder if he knew what he was talking about." And it doesn't really even, I don't notice any good feeling from it or anything. And I thought, well, maybe it just isn't that good. And I gave it to a friend of mine, and he had it with his wife, and said, "Wow, that was really good." And I just realized, there you go. No need, no need to do this anymore. No need to put my body through it. Put my body through something that before I didn't even realize how much it was putting my body through. The toxic effects it had on my body. So, yeah, don't need to do that anymore.
And I love that it's not even a goal you had, but it came so naturally as a result of you taking care of your health and being in this food freedom environment, because we really were very aware of our body, our health, how food makes us feel. And in that process of awareness, you also by yourself started questioning what alcohol was doing for you.
Right, right. And nothing good.
And
Yeah.
tell me about food. What are some habits that you had before the program and that now you've completely changed and they feel like a past version of yourself had those habits?
Yeah. So, like I said in the beginning, I had a pretty unconscious way about it. Couple 3 years ago, I did a work with a nutritionist, and she and I, you know, didn't really take. I mean, I did well while I was working with her, and then I just gave it up and went back to my old ways and never put a lot of attention on what went in my body. It was more like what was convenient, what was, and that meant McDonald's several times a week and not really giving a lot of care to what went in my body. And now I've got nothing but care and desire to learn and find what's going to make me feel better. And so, like, I have this baseline, meat, fruits, vegetables, no grains on my foundation, my baseline, um, and just no processed anything. And it's just like I say, when I'm eating this way, like I don't have to, I don't have any concerns food wise. So it makes it very easy. Doesn't take a lot of my focus, doesn't take a lot of my attention because I feel good with what I'm eating. And then when I want to have a piece of sourdough bread, or I want to have, friend's birthday, and I'm going to have dessert with them. Next day, just back to the baseline, no big deal. And doing it that way makes it so that, and they're not as enjoyable as before, but enjoying something like that once is just doesn't make a big effect on my overall health.
Yeah, and it's a normal way of living as well,
Yeah,
moving, because that's the difference between what we did together. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle, and
right,
lifestyle has ups and downs and zigs and zags. So being
right.
able to move with that and always be able to find and come back to your balance and what you know works for your body. This is a normal way to live life. It's not dogmatic, it's not following a philosophy, just following
No,
yourself and coming back to it, right?
yeah, yes, exactly. And it becomes less and less uh, needing to think about it. Just, got my life set up a certain way and foods in the house that I eat. And yeah, it's quite something. And processed foods, you hear that all the time, but I didn't really know what processed, what it meant that they were processed. Oh yeah, so they process something. Yeah, they do something different. And boy, it to just really get my eyes open, get my mind open to what it was. It takes no willpower. It just it doesn't. With the smoking, it was the same thing. Just okay. Oh, I see. All right. This is the cigarettes don't give me relief. They just whatever they make me think I've got relief, and the romanticism of them, and the coolness, and the camaraderie with people, and it's all it's just a lie, really, complete lie. And it's not unlike that with the foods. It's just people can see better with the cigarettes, especially people who don't smoke. They're like, what are you doing? But the same thing's true about foods. There's just so much that I learned in your program that I didn't know. And it was just really eye-opening and made it natural to just, oh yeah, that has that in it. Yeah, that's kind of not something I want to put in my body. And there's no argument, there's no quabble, or there's no, uh, it's just a natural progression
Yeah.
to, yeah,
You really reprogrammed your mind again and again. You quit. So I have so many questions. Um,
yes,
so first of all, Charles, you were able to quit smoking after being a smoker for 50, 55 years. That's a long time. And I'm
yeah.
sure, and tell me if that's correct, you had some beliefs around smoking, whether the benefits it offered you or whether you could quit after smoking for all this time. So, how did you do it? And how do you feel right now about smoking?
Well, oh, I hate it. And I'm okay with that. It's evil, dark uh, energy, and it's controlled by evil, dark company. And and I tell you, the number one thing for me that I realized that I brought me back to smoking was the idea that, and it was like my 1 foot out the door, that if I got the sentence that I would had 6 months to live or I had a year to live, I said, I'll start smoking again because it's not going to kill me if I do that. So that was kind of like the thing in my mind, and it would, and what the receptors of the nicotine in the body or whatever, they would take in that little thought and expand it and pull it apart and make it, and then well, I could just try one, and then I was just smoking again. And I'm sure that most people that have been smoking for years and have quit, that's how it all starts. But it really took the full comprehensive program that you have. I mean, I've seen books and I've seen people talk about, quitting smoking and this and that, but Nasha, your program was just so, you left nothing, no stone unturned. It was like every single thing that could possibly be known, possibly be in denial, possibly, romanticized coolness, the whole thing, and just kind of like the guy behind the curtain in The Wizard of Oz. She just opened it and splayed it all out for us to realize that, oh yeah, okay, I can do this. I don't know that anybody's come close to even 20% of what you've done in this program to quit smoking. And the same with the food freedom. Yeah.
Charles, thank you so much for sharing that. And I know you've tried a lot of things over the decades. So I am thrilled that you found success. And I know that you enjoyed the process as well. It was not a horrible, dreadful thing, but you were able to enjoy and discover positive aspects of yourself through this, right?
Yes. I looked forward to it because you always, I always got something. I knew I was going to get something out of it. It was like, and I have ADD and I did not like school. I didn't like learning because they didn't teach things the way I wanted to. So to come to your sessions to learn, and then the question and answer sessions to get clear.
So we have the Charles that starts the program, the Food Freedom Program, and we have the Charles that's standing here right now. What are all the ways you've changed? Pounds lost, physical benefits, emotional benefits, energy benefits. Give me the whole transformation before and after.
Yeah, so 200 pounds into it, sustained 180 now. And that is without a whole lot of exercise, which is next. I've really grabbed a hold of my body and have been getting things handled about it, like my back. I have shoulder problems and different issues in my body, gastro problems that I'm going to get a scoped and just really find out what's going on with my body. And I think you've taught me that, to really just understand more, really not take anything for granted. And like I now go and I get information from, so like for my back, I went to the surgeon that did surgery on me some years ago. I also went to a doctor of osteopathy and a chiropractor so that I could make my own decisions. And that's what I'm doing with everything with my body, to make, because I don't, because I really want to know. You've like it's really my inquisitiveness has been looking through this program. Yeah, I have a lot more energy. I mean, look, I'm 69 years old. This is like what you see is what you get, and I think I'm going to get a little younger here in the next couple of years. Um, yeah, and really understanding what uh, what can make me feel better, and not just in the moment. Like, yeah, that piece of cake make me feel better for a couple of seconds. But what's it going to feel like, the next hour or next day, or what is it going to make me feel like I know what to do and I didn't do that? And that's what I'm doing a lot more of, is not doing that thing that's going to make me feel bad about my decision, making the right decisions. I mean, like, imagine if every decision that I made was made based on my sage, God, spiritual, whatever, the universe. And every time, I mean, that's, I think, amazing, amazing to me to be able to make the right decision on everything in my life at every given moment. I think it's, what else? Yeah. And now I'm looking forward to what you're doing next year.
Yes, the wellness
Yes.
membership. Yes, I'm looking forward to it as well. And
Yeah.
Charles, you had an amazing transformation, and you said it all. The losing 20 pounds, incredible. Doing it without really exercising or struggling, feeling better physically, having better test results physically, having more energy. You're 69 years old, and I mean, 69 looks amazing on you, right?
Thank
I'm
you.
sure I'm not the first to
Yeah.
tell you. You have all the energy, all the mental clarity. It's pretty amazing. And one of the beliefs you held that you shared in the Food Freedom Program is that you were worried that maybe you are too old to change. And despite having made a lot of changes throughout your life, and you're someone who is quite invested in your growth and personal development, but those limiting beliefs, they stay with us. But look at all the changes you've made. You've changed in every way.
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
Yeah. And like I said, I worked with someone before. I've worked this trying to get my eating the right things and everything, but they were the one sentence answers. They were I know what you need. You take these supplements and eat this food, but none of the things behind it that allowed for a sustainable lifestyle choice. And that's what I feel that I have now. It's like, and I've made my baseline. You didn't. Certainly, I'm doing it the way that you laid it out, but it's really not your decision. It's my decision. I want to eat this way because I've learned that it makes me feel better. Yeah.
And that's so powerful because it comes
Yeah.
from you.
Right. Exactly. No willpower necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Charles, I mean, it's amazing how much can change in 1 year. I am in awe of the year you've had.
Like I said, who would say, okay, all right, let's see, I'm going to quit smoking this year and I'm going to completely change the way that I eat and I'm going to take on my whole body. Oh, no, you can't do that. That's too much. And I still got a few days left. What else am I going to do?
And you did all that. You did all that.
I did.
Huge congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And it's, I can't not say it's thanks to you and your team, Nasha. I know I did it, but you guys make it so easy.
I love this. That's what we're here for. Make it
Yeah,
easy. Yes.
yeah. And I wondered before I did this, like, how are we really, before, when I heard about the program and you said, and when I enrolled in it and said, so this is different than cigarettes. Cigarettes, you completely give it up. How are we ever going to deal with food? Because that's something that you have to have. You have to consume food to stay alive. You have to consume liquids. And so I don't know how we're going to do that. And it's the mind power, it's the education, it's the pulling back the psychology and behavior and romanticism of food. I mean, all these cooking shows and stuff, that's completely romanticizing it. And now it's just so simple. I think the simplicity of it and the knowing that it works and desire to just get more and more healthy. And I think that as time goes on, it will only continue to reinforce what's happening.
Yeah. And that question that you shared, you are absolutely not alone in having it, because if everyone, and if not everyone, most people who have taken the Quit Smoking Program and then they got introduced to the Food Freedom Program, the question is, how is it going to apply? It's exactly what you said, because
Yeah,
quitting smoking, you just don't do it anymore, but food you have to eat. But it's what you said. It's about how you eat and why you eat and what you eat. Not everything we eat, we have to be eating. And that's
right.
the tricky part. So it's about changing the relationship with nicotine, changing the relationship with food. And that shows up like different habits. But the principle is following your body, treating the body, using the mind power. It's what you said, Charles. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing this up. Yes, absolutely. Is there another way that, in your experience, that the CBQ process applied to food freedom that you may not have thought so before starting it?
Well, I mean, you don't know what you don't know. And you don't know what you believe that may be a lie and conditioning. And you, like I say, keep pulling the curtain back, keep pulling the curtain back. 70, 80 different names for sugar. You know, what the cracker companies, you know, what causes sugar rush, what causes sugar spike, and well, I, I can't really put my finger on what made me feel that way, but probably was something that I ate that didn't work, didn't made me feel high in one sense, but then the fall and that happening all day long, you know? So yeah, it really, there's, I mean, changed the whole thing in my head and my whole relationship to it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the goal. So I'm really
Yeah.
glad, because you know what, and I'm sure
You did that. You did that.
Well,
You devised this. I'm telling you, I don't know. I don't know anywhere else it's happening. So
thank you so much. Thank you so
yeah,
much. Be- because in my experience, and I'm sure that's your experience as well, and many other people's experience, we always try different things to get the result, whether it's to smoke less or quit smoking or eat better. But unless we change the programming that causes our habits, that causes the result, nothing will be sustainable. So what we've been doing is really change the programming, because then the habits change and then everything changes. The weight, the health, everything, the energy. So yeah.
yeah, good.
Charles, is there something that you wanted to share that I didn't think about asking you?
I can't think of anything.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
Final question.
yeah.
What what advice would you have for someone who feels stuck? They want to make a change in quitting smoking, in quitting vaping, in changing their food habits. They really want to make a change. Every New Year's resolution, they write it down, but they never follow through or are able to sustain it, and they feel stuck. What advice would you give to that person?
Hmm. I I mean, the simple answer is sign up for your courses. I've paid for the quit smoking program 4 or 5 times over by not buying cigarettes, not to mention countless the clothes and my car, so and all the other things. With the food program, I think I've already uh, monetarily seen a shift in that as well by not eating out so much. I would say that there's things that you think, things that you believe. Well, let's put it from me. There were things that I believed before doing your program, things that I thought, um, things that I thought about that I would be unable, or that would be a challenge enough for me that I would not do it, or uh, you know, I do my best and not really meet the challenge of it. And because I know I've got a little difficulty with um, follow through, um, doing things that are difficult, doing things that challenge me sufficiently that I'd rather just not do it. But I didn't find that anywhere in this program. So if anybody's feeling like, well, maybe I can't do it, and there were certainly people in our class that I feel that they probably felt that themselves, but um, but that thrived, that did meet the challenges. In fact, and the challenges weren't all that challenging once the curtain was pulled back. Once we understood, oh, I see. I see. Better not hit myself over the head with a bat. I got it. That's really what it was like, oh, well, why would I do that now that I know this? Now that I realize that I learned this early on and it wasn't true, why would I keep doing that? Just It's sustainable transformation is what you're providing people. Sustainable quit smoking, sustainable eating healthy because it is what you are driven to do, not because I have to. No, none of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Very well said. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Charles, it's really what you said. I agree with you 100% that of course when we eat a certain way or when we smoke, of course a part of us knows that something is off about our habits and our ways. But once we clearly see the truth of what keeps us attached to those habits and what an alternative reality could be for us, then it's like you said, the curtain is pulled back, shut down, thrown to the side, and freedom arises.
Yeah. And it becomes what I want to do.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's no willpower necessary to do things you want to do. You notice that? No willpower necessary. Yeah.
And when I say no willpower necessary, people say, oh, is it possible to do it without willpower? Well, yeah, that's the only way to do it, actually.
Yeah, completely. Willpower is not sustainable. It's not sustainable. You can't go through your life doing something because, yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. Yeah, I will not do things that require willpower. No sense, because there's got to be a good enough reason to do them otherwise. Because they're going to make my life better. Because they're going to make me healthier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making that connection is what this is all about. Charles, that was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. You're so very welcome. I want to thank you for sharing your journey and your story and coming here and really talking about all these achievements that have been your experience, your part of your life. And I know that your example and your story will help and inspire many other people who are in the same position you were in at the beginning of this year, even shorter than that. So thank you so much. And if you're here watching this video, please leave a comment below and let Charles and I know what you're taking away from his experience that can help you in yours. Thank you so much.